before my time.
Yeah, probably before Jenny's time for sure. Like early internet. All right. So what are we going to talk about? Pretty much Jenny doing the whole tour.
Yeah. If you could just flex on us, just being like,
pretty much. Just graduating.
No responsibilities.
Well, hey, congratulations on your graduation. That's amazing. I loved your cap. That was a cool little setup there. So what are you on to now? Now is it you on summer break or?
Yeah, so I've been working full time for like 2 years. So I did full-time work, full-time school. I was roadie, I guess. I don't know. And I'm done until September, and then I'm going back for a second master's to be a licensed therapist. So more school.
Wow.
Forever.
Well, good luck with that, and I think you have a fun summer ahead of tour. And it kicks off this weekend in Asheville, which I think is going to be one of the crazier nights of the tour. Because it's the first night, I think everyone's going to go ham on it. But I was reading reading more about Dogs in a Pile, Frasco, and I'm like, dogs are from that area, so this is like a hometown throwdown for them. So I think there's going to be a huge dog pound contingent in that audience. So I would think there's going to be a big turnout for it. The circus is finally leaving the station.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like smaller dog stuff that goes on in the area, there's like a mass crowd. I know kids that went to high school with some of the guys, so it's like they're very local and like around my age too. So
it's crazy how young they are. Just because like watching them on stage, these guys are obviously wildly talented, but then like they're babies, so they have a huge career ahead of them. They keep doing what they're doing. I mean, I think that, the sky's the limit for what these guys can do. And they're getting, I was checking their tour out this morning, and, it was cool to see because, younger bands, like when you look at Pigeon's tours from like 2013, 2014, they're putting a lot of miles and they're playing a lot of shows. It's just back to back to back, and Dogs are kind of doing that. Their tour schedule is full. So where Pigeons are getting a little bit of rest in between some shows right now, Dogs are not on that agenda.
No, yeah. Every time I get on social media, I always see that like they're in a different spot across the country. Like they were skiing the other day, and now they're about to open up tour on the East Coast. But yeah, you're speaking of a heavy Dogs contingent. There's definitely going to be one there. There's an early meetup hosted, I think, by Long Strange Putt. That's near there. I don't know the details about it, but I think that begins around 1. And I think some Saxy Art will be there, I believe. But yeah, that's what you were talking about, Asbury already, right?
Yeah, I was just saying that's obviously what's coming up, but I was just saying that's a cool cross. Makes it a little extra, especially for the Dogs and their family and friends too. Having a local show like that. So I mean, look, and the cool part too is that even if is it sold out? I think it's sold out, right? Maybe. Anyway, but look, that whole venue though, people could stand literally 50 feet away and hear. It's the outdoor venue, so it's like everyone can be there, which is cool.
Yeah, but let's introduce Jenny. We got Jenny from the Flock here with us again, joining us. Episode 55. What's going on, Jenny?
Ooh, it's going good. Happy to be back.
And as always, we've got Colin with us. What's going on, Colin?
A little tired, but I'm here. Happy to be here. I'm excited for what's coming up this week. So I was like, I wanted us to kind of get together and have a chat about it because, I'm probably going to do less of it than I want to. I'm happy to know that people are going to be there, and I can kind of live vicariously through some of my friends for these upcoming tour dates. And Jenny here is going to be a great person I can live vicariously through because, I mean, let's face it, she's going to just about all of them. So, Jenny,
anything at so anything that I'm at that Lee's not at, I do try to stream. So hopefully I'll be able to get some of those streaming in the Flock.
Yeah, super appreciated to do that. What are you most excited about upcoming for these shows?
I'm really excited for like the hometown Asbury Park show that we were talking about because I've been kind of like dribbling it in every time I've spoken to anybody in the band. I'm like, oh, remember when I didn't have to drive 8 hours to the show? Like when you played in Asbury, that was so cool. And then like the day they announced it was Valentine's Day. So I spoke to Ben and he was like, I've been waiting for you to find out about that. I was like, yes. So I'm super pumped. I think like my physical therapist is going to go because I talk about them so much. So I'm trying to just like bring everybody that I know in the area to go.
Yeah, I always find like that's kind of the next step of fandom is now, you're introduced. So now you start bringing other people in. How many people I've been like just hard. I've had waiters at restaurants that I would just ended up bugging the waiter about, no, they're playing in Miami in like 2 weeks, dude. You should come to the show. You'll have so much fun. And that's when you're fully joined the cult or whatever we call it.
Join the flock.
The flock. Sorry, I get confused sometimes.
A lot of overlapping qualities.
Right. But you were at the Harrisburg shows as well, right? What was your take on those shows?
Those were incredible. I was really hoping for a Sorcerer and a Let the Boogie Out, and I didn't realize how much I'd been talking about both of those songs, both like with the people I'm friends with and then also in the flock, I guess. And then when Sorcerer happened, like a bunch of people around me were like, oh my god, Sorcerer. And then when Let the Boogie happened, people were commenting like on Lee's stream, like, this one's for you, Jennie. I was like, oh my god, I'm really talking about these two songs.
I'm guilty as charged. You hear me rave about certain songs, so trust me, I get it. Yeah, it's interesting. What's that?
Everyone knows I'm a Sail On guy.
Since when?
See, prove my point.
Yeah, I find like lately I cycle through songs a bit more these days. I remember like Horizon was like probably a lot of people my first favorite song. And then Bad for You, I've kind of just gone down and I'll basically beat a song to death to where I'm like, all right, I got to find some new versions, some new songs to get into. So I just kind of cycle, but I have, I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but when you're in a song it's in your head, like I'll listen to the same song 10 times in a day. I'm not, I'll drive someone crazy that I'm with because they're just like, all right, enough. You played Feet on the Ground 11 times in a row. Stop.
Yeah. I'm a big like restart the song immediately. Like I think I did that with I can't wait for Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year because it's gonna be like you played Sorcerer 900 times. What was going on?
Right.
I'm like,
you are the top 0.001% of listeners of this song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. So, of all the shows that you're going to, which one do you have kind of the craziest travel arrangements to try to figure out how you're going to end up getting there and back?
Newport, Kentucky. So I'm the driver. I'm just like picking up randos along the randos that I love, of course, like Jack Harper and Brian and Paige and all that good crew. But so I'm driving a crew from Asbury to Connecticut to Utica, and then they're breaking off from there, driving home by myself, and then back up. I'm gonna go to Buffalo a night early to hit the Beans show, which I accidentally bought tickets for. So I just figured I might as well just go up, waste the $20.
I bought some tickets. My bad.
Yeah. So I'll do the Buffalo, Rochester. Everyone's gonna meet me back there from all the flyers, and then Columbus, and then Kentucky. Everybody's like breaking off to go home, but I need to be home like the next morning, and it's a 9-hour drive. So I'm gonna probably just try and drive that straight after the show, or like do 5 hours, crash for 2 hours somewhere. 5 hours.
That's a healthy drive. Oh, Jake.
Yeah.
What's going on in Buffalo? Is Beans just playing in Buffalo?
Yeah, it's just a regular Beans show the night before.
Really?
The Rochester.
So they're playing Thursday night because Rochester's on Friday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I had to make a last minute pulled the plug on my Buffalo show run. So flights were just too expensive. Buffalo's one of those airports that there's no easy way to get to. I got to fly through somewhere else. So it was just like,
fly to Newark. Drive with me.
No, I made the decision. I can either go see Mark Norman or I can go see Mike Birbiglia that are both playing here in Miami on my birthday. So I'm like, all right, I'll a consolation prize. Yeah.
Who are you gonna go see? Yeah. Mark Norman.
Well, so Mark Norman's all the way up in West Palm, which is like 90-minute drive, and we could almost walk to where Birbiglia is playing. So I've seen Mark Norman twice. I've never seen Birbiglia. So I'm like, I remember him from like the Bob and Tom days. I can go off on a whole Birbiglia tangent here, but Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like I saw Pauly Shore last weekend, and it was really not that great. But I went for like the nostalgia of Pauly Shore, like the Weasel.
Yeah.
Move it, buddy.
Yeah.
Jennie,
Jennie has no idea.
how old were you in 1995?
I wasn't born.
Wow.
I was
All
born
right,
in
gotta go.
2000.
Thanks, everybody.
But who'd you say you were going to Utica with? Jennie?
Brian, Jack, Paige. Yeah, Brian, Jack, and Paige.
Oh,
We might have to get
okay.
some field reporting done from that drive with that crew in there. Seems
Well,
wow.
I'll be meeting you at Utica. Yeah.
Like, Loki, one show that I've kind of been eyeballing to hit randomly, and I saw it. I think you said you were confirmed for it, but it's going to the Kazoo show. Like, I was like, that's actually, that could work.
Do that.
Do it.
Do it. Kalamazoo is cool.
Yeah.
Bell's Brewery is cool. Kevin will most likely be there.
Nice.
So you should.
Yeah. So I think that the sun and the moon kind of are aligning in a little bit of ways there. So, I got to see at least one of these shows on this tour. I'd be like, I feel like I'd be kicking myself if I missed it. And I feel like every time I miss something lately, I kick myself.
I'll pick you up from the airport. I got you.
All right.
See?
Oh, that's right. That's right. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stops they have on this run. And I think it's interesting how they kind of they do a little bounce on and off of. So there's a couple of just straight pigeon shows, and then they go. But one thing I think obviously you're going to see a lot of, and this I don't think this is any surprise to anybody, a lot of sit-ins. And I'm just curious to see how they do it, because when I was at Miami a couple weeks ago and I saw Dogs and Frasco come through, I just got like a little taste of what that night is. And like towards the end, they had like the whole Dogs guys out on stage with Frasco, and they were doing their crazy Frasco antics. But at the same time, they were just ripping. And not gonna lie, I low key have been getting a little bit more into Frasco. His new album, I actually was really digging on it last couple of days. I never really took the time to listen to a lot of Frasco before, but like I was like, all right, new album, give it a chance. I liked what I saw the other night at the show, and yeah, I've been digging it.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with him, so I'm going to go in pretty much totally blind. So I'm excited for that. I feel like that in itself is going to be an interesting experience, because the only real things I've heard about him is I saw Gator before a show one time, and I was like, Dogs and Frasco tour, and he was like, shit gets weird. I was like, okay, great.
No, I just
Frasco and Gator have a little bit of a bromance with each other. So
he's all over the town right now. He's doing the Brandon Bayless, like the little duo tour they've been doing, or shows. I saw him post a video. He's with Todd Glass, the comedian. Like, I'm just like, dude, this guy's getting around everywhere. He was just on Bert Kreischer's wife's podcast. I mean, like everywhere I turn around, all of a sudden, this dude's popping up everywhere. He's man about town, Andy Frasco. But it's definitely going to get weird on this tour. I definitely see that just from the little taste I got. And I think you might not know a lot about him now, Jennie, but I think by the end of the summer, you'll be pretty familiar.
Yeah, especially because I'm twinkling in a bunch of VIPs, because I'm just like not, again, very normal about
you get
that.
To finally meet the band. I mean, I'm sure the first meet them will be great.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually have, like the little mobiles that you put over like a baby's. I have all my VIP lanyards. Like,
you sleep at night, you just like lay on your back.
No, I'm like, this is the most expensive wind chimes I've ever had. But you meet Frasco in these upcoming VIPs, and I'm like, that's gonna be like I'm gonna be like nervous. I'm gonna be like, hi, I don't know you, but hi.
But by like the first time you meet him, he's gonna be like, what's up, Jennie?
Yeah,
you two will be besties. Go to the movies together.
Okay. I just follow Frasco's tours from here on out.
Right.
Just totally ditched everything else. No other music, just Frasco.
Don't say that. That's blasphemy. No. Listen, we support these other bands, but we're not going to lose our fans to them, okay? We got to draw the line somewhere.
Only be so abnormal about one thing. So, and I've already sold my soul. So.
Right. For some VIP lanyards. So it's a good trade. I think you got your money's worth.
I am excited for those two Just Pigeon shows sprinkled in, like the Missouri stuff. Also, never been to Missouri, because why would I have been to Missouri? Um, so that's another cool thing about like being able to follow so many shows is I'm going to so many states that I would have had no reason to go to this summer or kind of ever, like Birmingham, Alabama.
Sure.
No real interest in that outside of pigeons, but I'm sure there's gonna be
Well,
something cool.
there's a lot of concerts I've gone to that took me to an area that would never. I mean, who would just go to like Alpine Valley, Wisconsin, without a reason to go, right? Like,
Yeah,
Dude, Wisconsin is nice.
it's beautiful, but like, I mean, I just don't want to have a reason to really go there. But Fish was playing, and I'm like, all right, I'll go. You know, like it makes sense. But
Absolutely.
go to shows in Baltimore, right? I mean, I've been to so many shows in Baltimore now. It's not like I would expect it to be a normal destination for me, but you get to travel around, see more places. And I think, look, when we get to those two standalone shows, I think because it seems that each band's playing one set. I'm that's kind of just the vibe I'm getting. Is that Jake?
It's safe to say to probably say that's
They'll
what
play
they're
one
gonna
longer set, but yeah, they'll kind of it'll be. But so to go from that kind of that crazy circus vibe, right, with the Dome Fest presents, but then going to just a straight pigeon show, I think would be just kind of you kind of will want that a little bit. I think that's kind of you'll get that itch where you're not quite getting it, you're getting it, but like a full pigeon show, two sets, all heat, all
Yeah.
night.
The only thing is those are two during the week. What are those Wednesday, Thursday shows? I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Low key.
So they don't end up even doing one sets for those, honestly.
Yeah, I was when they did the North Carolina shows they planned. I was like, oh, why these midweek shows? It killed me.
Jeremy just wants to play.
I get it.
He's just squeezing as much as he can.
Yeah, look, he doesn't have to worry about what I need to do to see it. It's like he's got his own agenda.
That's insane. Like they couldn't just wait 2 days to go play this music festival. They're gonna go, yeah, let's go through Missouri, on the way from Kentucky and squeeze in two shows before they go do a music festival and then pick back up doing their Frasco stuff in Michigan. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Like, they could have taken that, just taking their time to get up to Wisconsin, but no, they're shooting over to Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and St. Louis. Both not the most nicest places in the world either. But
it's what's happening.
it is what's happening. I don't even think, have they announced openers or anything for those?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. So they might end up doing a local support job with that,
Cool.
Would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know plenty of people out there.
I mean, look, if there's one thing the Pigeons are good for, it's supporting up and coming artists, their friends, acts. Like, I mean, how many bands I was introduced to because they were an opener for Pigeons?
The two bands that are opening for this tour right now.
Right.
Absolutely. A lot of bands. Dude, most of the bands that I listened to, I was introduced through Pigeons. Absolutely. I was just looking at the 2016 Dome Fest schedule, and like one of the big ones on there was Vibe and Direct. And like not many people even listen to Vibe and Direct, but if you go back and listen to a whole bunch of Vibe and Direct stuff, you'll see the heavy influence that they have on Pigeons. Greg, for the longest time, used to wear a Vibe and Direct shirt. Just the vibe. It said Vibe. If you look at any old Greg,
I've seen him wear it.
Yeah. If you listen to like Chrysanthemum, I think the song is, you'll definitely hear some Pigeons in that. So just Vibe and Direct is one of those bands that introduced me. And, one of the biggest bands that Pigeons introduced to a lot of people.
It's facts.
It is fun.
When I flew out for right before COVID shut down, I flew out to the two shows in San Francisco they did, and I took a couple friends of mine and my buddy's wife who went. That was the first night she would discovered Goose, and she's now like a crazy fan, all into it. But again, Pigeons are really helping people. We pull people in, Pigeons pull great musicians in. It really complements it well.
And I feel like
go ahead.
this kind of tour for like everyone that's involved is kind of like a launching pad for everyone that's like involved in this
Mhm.
because uh Frasco's fan base that's like that kind of more like podcast type people are going to be coming in to see pigeons and dogs that are probably not necessarily would ever have seen them rather than if they weren't a Frasco fan.
Mhm.
So like, you know what I mean? So like all these pigeons and dogs people like Jennie and stuff aren't aren't even familiar with Frasco, don't even know the type of like really vibe that he brings to a show.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It definitely is a vibe. I call what I like to call Frasco is like a bar band. You're not necessarily going to see Frasco, but he's there and he's throwing the show and he is the fucking party. You're like you show up and it's like, "Oh shit, I wasn't expecting this. I just came into a bar, but this motherfucker is throwing down at a party." I've seen Frasco so many times.
Mhm.
Tiffany, we went to a Frasco show on Halloween night, and we went. Tiffany ended up going into labor the next morning with Boulder. That's how much we've seen Frasco. So,
Yeah, look, oh, go
Frasco.
ahead.
I say Frasco induced
Yeah,
labor.
right.
yeah, I got my Andy Frasco shirt on.
Hey. Look, when I was trying to describe it to people or him to people, I was like, it's kind of like if a band and like a comedy show and also like kind of theatrical, right? Because like at one point at the end, he gets on the piano and it's just him playing. He's talking about his mother and he had a kind of a touching thing. He's talking about it. She had cancer and then she beat it, and then he used to play this song every night to like kind of send good vibes to his mom. And I'm like, that's really sweet. This guy is like a saint and like such a sweet person. And then he was like, oh, now it came back, so now I'm gonna play this song every fucking night until I die or whatever. Like he was just like, it's just the thing now. But it was just like he's very captivating, very entertaining. It's more like to your point, it's more than just a band. It's definitely cool. So I think, yeah, it's gonna bring a lot of people in. His music's definitely. It's funny how he's fits so well in the jam scene, but I wouldn't necessarily call them a jam band. But they're very much like they fit with this whole scene perfectly. And they do jam and they rip. I mean, they're guitarists. I don't know his name, but the guy is a wild ball of energy. The dude was just like so animated. I don't know if I've seen a guitar player so like comically animated in my life. The dude just goes crazy, and it was fun. So I think that's just going to be just kind of the whole energy of this whole run. If I could predict right now, is it's just going to be fun.
I'm excited. And then with the Magic Beans after shows at a bunch of them.
So do you have a couple after parties planned?
Yeah, I'm doing every Magic Beans thing. Everything that they're there. I mean, why not? I'm there.
I agree wholeheartedly. Ever since I saw the Bean show with Jeremy sat in for the whole set at Cervantes after Fish after party. I mean, I liked the Beans before that, but there's something about that show where I was like, oh shit, now I really get it. Like the Beans hit me so hard. And I think Jeremy being in there made it just a little bit cooler too. But like now I just like I'll throw Beans on all the time now.
I hadn't listened to them until this Florida run when I had Jack Harper in the car for one of the drives. And he
He'll
put
flick
them
the
on.
bean.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Jack just went to that venue in West Virginia to see Beans where Pigeons are playing later this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that white water rafting one?
Yeah. He said it was pretty
I'm excited.
Yeah, by the New River Gorge.
Mm-hmm.
The second highest bridge in the country, according to Tyler Kidd. So shout out to Tyler Kidd.
All right. Bridge fact.
Yeah, bridge facts.
Yeah. Oh. No, I'm pumped. So these Magic Beans shows will be my first time seeing them also. So it'll be another just like first time and jumping head first in.
Yeah.
This tour for you is about to be amazing.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna need so many cans of yerba mate.
We'll get you a yerba mate like IV drip. You can decide your
car.
Which yerba
mate? Honestly.
Do you drink Gayaki? Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite flavor?
I'm into the peach. I think it's peach revival.
Okay.
Because it's the lowest in sugar too, so I'm not like bouncing off the walls from 30 grams of sugar and 140 of caffeine.
Nice.
I'm only bouncing from the 140.
Have you tried the sparkling ones, or is that the ones?
Haven't yet. I saw it at Whole Foods because they used to sell it at my Target, and then I guess I was the only one buying, so they ripped it off the shelves, and now I gotta like all the way to Whole Foods. But I think I'm just gonna order like
get a slab of that stuff, throw it in the trunk.
Yeah, honestly, because like I don't know. I'm sure as you may know, I'm totally I don't drink, I don't smoke, nothing. So I'm just like fully sobering all of these shows. So I need something.
Hey,
I need something to keep me up.
It's probably for the better if you're fucking road champion, all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you that it's fucking hard driving 9 hours after a show if you've been partying all night.
Yeah, like if I have a yerb, like
yeah,
the show, if I yerb towards the end of the show, I will literally be awake till the next day. It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm so susceptible to caffeine.
Yeah,
bless you.
At this point, I travel with so many supplements. I have, vitamins, electrolytes, you name it. I got all these powders and potions, and I'm just throwing them in my body all day, every day, because it's just by the time I get towards night 2 or 3, and now I really don't drink much when I go to shows anymore, which I really noticed helped tremendously on just kind of like bouncing back. I did Friendsgiving and I didn't drink the whole time. I still partied and had fun, but just that difference of, the toll that the alcohol takes on you. Definitely, it was like, because I was wearing the Whoop strap at the time and I was seeing like by the numbers how my body was extra stressed. It was really a interesting kind of look at that. So now when I'm going to shows, I'm like, yeah, I'm usually in better shape by the night 2 or 3 than I would have been otherwise. I've gotten through some pretty haggard runs where my night 1, night 4 look was bad.
Yeah, like those 5 Florida nights, and like I couldn't imagine doing that and surviving on anything. Like that was pure adrenaline by night 5.
Yeah.
Pure adrenaline.
We had a good crew in that run though. I mean, I think that was so much fun. I think, I think everything worked out really well. Yeah. Because we've road tripped twice now, right? Texas and in Florida.
Yeah, that last bump between the shows.
Good. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I haven't really toured with Jennie yet. I'm usually a solo type guy.
He's the Lone Ranger.
Well, that's what I'm doing this coming weekend. So, Pigeons Management hasn't gotten back to any of the vendors yet. So we're still all waiting on what the plan is as far as that goes. So I could potentially be going to Connecticut and then Utica. But right now, I'm just essentially planning on Utica until that they come back west after that. But it's a 9-hour drive to Connecticut and then almost like 11-hour drive to Utica.
Which is crazy. New York, when you start to figure out like how far away stuff in New York is, you're like, what the hell is with this state?
Yeah.
Most 6 hours is like a nothing for drive for upstate New Yorkers. That's table stakes.
Yeah, for some reason I was only thinking that it was 5 hours, but Connecticut's with a little bit of toll roads is only 9 hours. So if I can make that easy, if Jennie can drive 9 hours home, I can drive out 9 hours to Connecticut.
Oh yeah, you're a road savage, Jake. I'm sure you'll be able to hammer that.
Yeah, that'll be my newest long distance drive because I did 8 down to Richmond. It wasn't supposed to be 8 for the January show. It was supposed to be like 6.5. And I brought my dad to his first shows were those 2. It was like 6 hours down. I was like, it's fine. I'll drive the whole way. Blizzard. Mass snowstorm. He's like, Jen, I think we need to pull over. I was like, Dad, we gotta go. I'm like chugging along in my little Hyundai. I'm like, gotta get the rail. We have to be there.
No, you don't understand.
No, yeah. We're like the first people at the venue. And he's like,
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's like when I first started to kind of get to know like Lee and Tony and Ashley and, like the people who are always like some of the first people in line, right? Our rail crew friends. It's because I would just get to the venue like early and just be walking around and I start talking to people And that was just literally like they were the people that were there, and I would just be like, "What's up, guys?" I just start chatting, and then people get mad at me that I was cutting in line. I'm like, "I'm not cutting. I'm not trying to get to the rail." And then I remember during the 9:30 club show, they let everyone in, and I was just like, I just went in with them, and like I was getting like dirty eyes from people. But I'm like, I'm gonna stand at the back of the room, guys. I'm not even gonna try to take a rail spot. I come in peace.
Brother.
Yeah, but the guy was like, "Come on in." I'm like, all right, take advantage of it sometimes.
Speaking of the rail, did you guys see that guy at Billy Strings throwing all those people's chairs out of the way?
Oh, I saw Billy Strings. I saw the video, but it was just some dude like just picking up people's chairs and chucking them in the street.
Yeah, so people at Billy Strings have been just posting up like their, collapsible chairs as like holders for being in line for rail and stuff. And this guy just comes along and just throws them all out of the way and gets in front of them.
Yeah, I think if you're in line for something like the rail, which is kind of considered to be this, this crazy, like, high end real estate,
coveted spot,
be in your line, right? Fine. Like, but if you're just like, oh, I'm going to go put my shoe in line, I'm going to go home, take a nap and come back in a few hours. I'm like, well, I don't know if I would let that fly. I don't, if you're in line, you're in line,
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be weird and pay someone to be in line, I heard people do that all the time. And that's okay.
People start paying me. I'll save them a spot. Pay me. I'm in rail anyway. Like,
all right, you heard that here. Pay Jenny.
Yeah.
It'll be like the rail concierge.
Yeah, come with a blanket, covers half the rail. No, I feel like I was at I saw the Tab show back at Stone Pony last summer, right after those Goose 4th of July stuff. But I went to one of those two, really crowded. But I saw the dogs did that acoustic podcast recording inside the Stone Pony. So I went to that, and that ended at like 1 o'clock. I was like, well, I'll just walk over and stand out and baking in the sun online for Tab. And there was a couple chairs and, fine, I don't care. And I'm in line, burnt to a crisp for like hours. And then 5 minutes before doors, like 20 people come to one chair. Like there one chair was holding it and like 20 people were like, oh, that's my chair. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. And then I got in 5 rows back. I was like, I'm never doing rail for anything except pigeons. I don't need to. I don't care to. It's like, y'all.
Having done in my early days, the group that I had just that got me into fish, and I would go to shows with them. These were guys that had been going to fish for since the early '90s, right? So they were page side rail. Like right in front of you would be like Antelope Greg, and he was part of this crew. So it was super aggressive. But these people I knew, so I'd always just go and hang out with these guys. But I don't want to be within 30 feet of the stage at a fish show at this point. Hard pass, so aggressive. I almost got into a fight a couple times where I'm like, it's heated, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to do this and fight over space like this. Like people just come out and start pushing you over, and I'm like,
yeah.
I got to argue with a guy in a wheelchair on the Florida Fish Show. And he was trying to come at me. I'm like, bro, like I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want my friends to turn around and see me get into a fight with a guy in a wheelchair. That's not a good look.
No, dude, getting in a fight at a fish show is never a good look.
No, I'd rather shit on the floor than get into a fight.
Hey, that's more acceptable, bro.
Right. I mean,
no, I've done floor twice at MSG, and I don't know. I like to have a seat. Pigeons, like I said, pigeons is the only thing. I got spoiled at my first show.
You were rail from day one.
I was rail on day one. It was next to Lee. Didn't even know who he was, but I was next to him. I saw him months later, like back on the I looked back on the Instagram and I zoomed in. I was like, wait, that's Lee. Oh my god. But I didn't know how early I should or shouldn't get to the show, and I work 5 minutes from the Stone Pony. So I just went over after work and was the second person in line. I was like, okay, cool. And then I just got spoiled. Ben gave me earplugs, gave me the set list, and I was like, oh, well, now I need to be in front of Ben on rail at every show.
Yeah, when you have the best thing at the first time, it's like if all you get is filet mignon, all you want is filet mignon, I guess,
And then when I had the knee surgery, if I didn't have rail, I would have been tipping over. So then it became now I'm not just a crazy person, I'm also a crazy person with an excuse why I want the rail all the time.
But to me,
being
Seeing you go to so many shows with your leg brace on told me how much of a crazy person you were. I love it, and I mean that in the best possible way. But I was just like, because look, it's inconvenient to walk around. Like you weren't, it's not like you were jumping and jogging. Like you were, your leg was in a brace, but you're like, the hell with that. I love this stuff.
the two Flocktoberfest shows I shouldn't have been at for sure. That was my third and doesn't know. But I was on crutches during those shows, zero weight bearing, so my foot couldn't even touch the ground. And I was the first one indoor. I brought my little pop up stool like on the side rail. That was rough on the crutches. That was a tough one. So the next time in the outdoor show, I brought the wheelchair, and my friend Gianna, bless her heart, she like brought me up in the wheelchair right along the rail, and Ben leaned over. He's like, went the comfortable route this time. I was like, yeah,
Nice.
That's like I shouldn't be here, but can't miss Flocktoberfest. God forbid.
I mean, at this point, you can't miss any shows, right?
I know my friend
listening to Oktoberfest today.
Were you?
Yeah.
I've been spinning old Dome Fests, just going back, just being a little sad. I love everyone in the flock has been posting like a bunch of just photo dumps from past Dome Fests. It's been great, but it's also just like I'm just like I miss it because Jennie, you got in really kind of after Dome Fest last year, right? You weren't at Dome Fest.
No, I was in this. My October 2022 was my first, so I had tickets to Dome Fest. And then I had a work event and didn't know that it wouldn't happen next year. So I was like, I can't make it. I don't have anybody to go with me. Now I just go wherever by myself. I don't care. I'll meet people. But I was like, oh my God, I can't go. No Dome Fest. But so I have not been yet. Next year, hopefully, will be my first. Yeah.
I feel like
I believe it will return. Colin, when was your first Dome Fest?
Podfest was my first. So a sore subject in a little bit because, I wasn't that into pigeons at the time yet, but when they were doing like the Bedford in Bedford, Pennsylvania, that was 2 hours from my house. Like maybe 2.5. Like I would, to this day, I still like why? Cause I like the band. I've been seeing them a little bit at that point, but I hadn't been like to travel to see them yet. I kind of just I was in this town. They're already playing or they're close by. So, just kind of when they were around, I was seeing them. But yeah. So anyway, Podfest was my first Dome Fest. And it's funny. I was going through some photos and there was a photo that I forget the photographer's name, but it's, kind of back from the stage. And all of a sudden you just, there's a picture and you look down the bottom right corner and there's me back to the stage, just like looking up at the sky, completely lost in the sauce. I have all these beads on that this guy I just met gave me. Like it was just, I laughed so hard when I saw the photo because I was like having a moment.
My first Dome Fest was the Fort Royal one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's actually where I met Tiffany.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. I was working it. I was not in attendance as a fan. I came in Wednesday to set up and was working. So that was my first Dome Fest experience.
Pigeons bring people together.
Yes, they do. And look at us now.
I mean, I can thank Pigeons for Shannon. I mean, that's kind of, it all happened at the Florida Pigeon Show. That's where it started.
And bringing people together, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta love the pigeons.
But Jake, of the Dome Fest that you've done, which one has been your favorite?
So I've never gone to I've only gone to one Dome Fest as a fan. And it was Podfest. So I'd have to say that would be the only one that was the most enjoyable for me because I didn't have to worry about anything. All the other ones, I could potentially get in trouble. So I was worried about things. One time Greg caught me eating food backstage at the at the artist hospitality area. So that didn't go down well. I was eating.
Jake, you're a hungry boy, so I can see you with a mouthful of food, and you look over, and you just sees you. You're like, oh.
He's like, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's Greg. I'll see you later. Bye.
Adios,
Ran
dude.
back. Yeah. That was at Marvin's when that happened. But then, yeah, Podfest is the only one I haven't worked because the last two we vended at, which is an opportunity that I am very thankful for. And this opportunity coming up, vending, I'm very thankful for.
So have you been very busy tie-dyeing? Is this
so much? As soon as we get done with this, I have about 8 things tied up right now that I'm about to put dye on and eat a burger while I'm doing that. Tiffany's
so if you get tie-dye with a little bit of burger grease on it, you know it's made by hand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Happy to be here setting up. I'm in the garage right now so that Boulder doesn't barge in like he did last time.
Yeah, it's always good with a little Boulder cameo from time to time.
Love a Boulder cameo.
He's got some hot takes. Sometimes I'm a little too hot. I'm like, oh, Boulder, it's pushing it.
He's crazy.
He wiles out, man.
Jennie, are you looking forward? Like, what most are you looking forward to on for these shows coming up? Like, do you have a song? Do you have an experience that you want to have? Do you want to see someone? What's the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to coming up?
So song, we'll start with, I'll answer like one of them.
Okay. Throwing it at you.
I'm not sure if we'll get it. I asked in that Reddit Ask Me Anything thing. I was like, are we going to have to wait until winter to get another Winter Splinters? And Ben replied like on his account, and he was like, 'tis always the season. So I'm like, I know it doesn't fit the season for a summer tour, but I would love it. I would love a Show Me. That's another one that I'd really be bummed
on a hot day. A Winter Splinters could be that cool you down that you might need. So
it's so good.
Yeah.
Anything that has Gator singing too, like I would love a Poseidon Where's My Mind. I like have a whole playlist of just every time that's occurred. Love it.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of,
You just got a Gator singing.
yeah, that was so good. I love that. And then people wise, super excited to see Cowboy Brian. I talked to him like on a daily, so we like met and clicked instantly. So I'm always excited to see him and just like truck him through the next 6 shows.
Yep.
I'm always excited for.
It was fun having him on last episode. Definitely want to have him back again. I enjoyed that one.
I'm excited for Paige and Jack. I think we're crashing with Rudman a couple times. Something we got a lot of like moving parts and in and out, and I'm really excited to just, I don't know, be more in the scene and more into the thick of it. Because like I'm in Harrisburg, I had my own hotel room. I was like, I really can't stay with 30 people in a Airbnb.
You're not going to manner.
I went back and I hung out with them after the second night until like 4 a.m, which was super cool. And it's always such a fun experience because I'm going to wake up and remember every detail and nobody else will. So I don't remember.
Know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, I get you.
No, it's always good to have your own place to go to.
Yep.
Or even just like a couple people. Like sometimes.
Yeah, like we're doing smaller versions. I think like we have a small group for the Columbus, maybe an Airbnb. I don't know if anybody booked it. I don't know. I'm kind of like, normally I'm a very ahead planner. I'm like, I've got my flights, got this, got that. I'm planned ahead, like set up by myself. Yeah, and now I'm like,
she's slowly going on Wook. She's slowly starting to become a Wook. It's just
that barefoot Fort Lauderdale show, that was real Wookiee of me.
Wait, I'm gonna wait to see it. I want to see it at a show. You're gonna have some patchwork pants on. All of a sudden, you're gonna start making dreadlocks in your hair. Jennie, are these crystals that you're holding? What do you have here?
I do.
She's too sober to be too Wookiee.
I'm probably the Wookieest sober person you'll ever meet. I think so.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing when you really think about it.
No.
You just are learning that everything's going to work out in the end.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm throwing to the, like, throwing everything kind of to the. I still, yeah, of course, I've had my tickets for months, so I really have had it like structurally planned, and I know it's my car, I'm driving, so I don't have to worry about like getting stranded anywhere. But I'm like, I got 5 seats. Whoever wants to fit in the back, go ahead. Wherever we're staying, go ahead. If you're gonna hit the vape, open the window. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I've never turned someone down for a car seat on a road trip. I've had some crazy times where just kind of more and more people jumped in my car to where I'm like, what has this become?
Yeah, like I literally was saying to my dad, I was like, I think I need a 3-row car. He was like, why? I was like, because then I could fit more people when I'm touring with pigeons. And he was like, or you could just not get a new car to fit more flockers. I was like,
I think like
I feel like it's
the
cool.
more appropriate vehicle would be like the short yellow bus.
No, I wish. I was looking. There was like a solid. I've been like a into the van life sitch since I was like
Yep.
12.
Yeah.
I've been like that's my goal one day, and so I in the last couple months have been like looking a little bit more seriously. But then I was like, with the amount of drives I have to do, I need something that's mechanically reliable and not just like aesthetically cool. And mechanically reliable and aesthetically cool is so
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So maybe
You could be like a traveling therapist, though.
exactly. Yeah,
You could do
that's one of the like
a lot of
the remote therapy is such a big thing.
that'd be dope. You could do like sessions before you go into a pigeon show.
Exactly. And people do them on the phone, not even like video call now. So I could just be cruising, driving, calling.
You know what you could do next year is do workshops at Pigeon Show at Dome Fest.
I actually not even related to mental health wise. Somebody had suggested I put a little thing in the flock. I had listened to the podcast where Ben, maybe it was Back to Basis, maybe he was talking about people like rushing the stage, and he's like, I don't know any karate, I can't do anything, and I was like, wait, I know karate. So I made a little post, and I was like, would anybody be interested in like a concert self defense safety thing? And somebody was like, Dome Fest workshop. I was like, okay, because I've been doing martial arts for 16 years.
Yeah.
And like I used to fight competitively, and like so I'm like, I ran a self defense club in high school. I could run like a hippie self defense.
So I can imagine how the class would go. Be like, all right, so some fool's trying to take your rail spot, right? So you break them down real like this.
Yeah. Yes. Because like I've had instances, not like very many, but like being a solo gal at the shows, you get the weirdo once in a while.
People.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And there's like, I don't know, going to all these different towns. You don't know the crowd. Like Savannah, weird crowd. Amazing show, by the way. If anybody hasn't listened to the Valentine's Day Savannah show, one of my favorites. But I had like some strange dude all up in my grill, and I really was almost gonna do something. But I like one of my friends that were on the rail with me, Gray and Jenna, they're amazing. They're South Carolina based. Gray like intervened, he like dad around. He was like, no, and like turned me around, and like everybody kind of shooed the guy away. But I was like, I felt confident enough to like handle this drunk, gross guy. But like if
But you're
in
a fighter where another girl that maybe doesn't have the martial arts background could feel a little bit more intimidated and a lot more uncomfortable because they'd probably it's I think that I will say from my experience I think the pigeon scene is pretty good overall. Obviously there's outliers, there's incidents, like there's it's not perfect. But I think the flock try to protect our flockettes the best we can.
Oh
yeah.
And I would say that if I'm ever at a show and you ever need help, you can definitely ask me, and I'll put that out for anyone. And I know a few other men that would be able to do that for you too. I know Jack would. I know Rudman would. So if anything ever happens, and
it was funny when we were at the St. Petersburg show. I think that was the one that the guy like tried to get into a fight with Jack because his hair got in his face or something.
In Tampa, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, Jack, you should have called me. Like, I could have been there." And he's like, "Oh, haha." And then, like, as the conversation went on, I was like, "No, Jack, you should have called me. I would have come to the rescue." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, you do karate?" Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I could have. I got you."
I could imagine being like, just be partying at a show, and some dude starts getting all wild at me, and then out of nowhere, this foot just comes in and kicks the dude in the face. What just happened?
Jennie from the flock, dude, coming at you.
Like, Miyagi just is playing in the background at the same time.
Right. that would be the appropriate one. I was actually stoked that Rudden put that link to the Spotify playlist that he made, and I was listening to Miyagi from Soundwave, Fish After Party, and that one that might be my favorite version of Miyagi. That song they rip at that one.
Yeah, I was listening to that too today. So thank you, Rudman. And if anyone would like Rudman, they should make a Rudman's picks of pigeon stuff.
Yeah,
that should be like a record right now.
Yeah.
Rudman's picks.
At least a Spotify playlist. Well, I guess it's not an official playlist.
Yeah.
Through the band.
We could just make unofficial ones for right now, but yeah, that was cool. It was just a bunch of versions of songs. Some stuff I hadn't even heard before. Some stuff I'm like a lot of it. I'm like, oh, I was there. Sweet. I remember this one. He had like I think 2 Beacon Skiff songs on there. I was like, hell yeah, all right.
Beacon Skiff
still goes down as one of my favorite 2-night runs I've ever done. It was just each night was so different, but leaving the show after the second night, I remember I said goodbye to you, and I go back to my car, and all of a sudden I get in my car, and I'm like, where's my phone? And like, that venue's in the middle of freaking nowhere, and I got to drive like to Syracuse for my hotel is like 40 minutes away. And I'm like, where's my phone? Oh my God. Cause I would like, do I go left or right when I leave the parking lot? I wouldn't know where to go, or we're in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, and then the parking lot, cause I hung out so long with everybody, like everyone was gone. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like searching the ground around my car. I'm like retracing every step I've done. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm so screwed. I don't know what to do. And then finally I saw a car coming through, and I run down to the car. I'm like, guys. And they just see me run up, like looking all crazy. And I'm like, hey, can you call my phone? And I was like, I just want to see like how screwed I am. Like, and all of a sudden they call my phone and my car starts ringing. And I'm like, yes, it's in. So he tore my car apart and it fell like down, but it was so stupid I don't even know how it got where it got. But then like, this is how cool they were. I never met these people again outside of that. But then I drove back to the hotel. I'm at the hotel for like 10 minutes. They call me just to make sure I got home okay. I was like, super sweet. And the guy's like, I told you he'd be fine.
Awesome.
Good times.
Well, you ready to go over these tour dates?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's check it out real quick. Boom. Sharing it. You guys see it?
Yep.
All right, so we are starting off May 24th, where we've been talking about at the Stone Pony Summer Stage. On the 24th in Asbury Park, New Jersey, Jenny's going to be there.
Yeah.
And then they move up the 25th at Levitt Pavilion.
It's a really cool venue. Really cool little venue. I saw a Below there a couple years ago, but it's cool. It's a smaller venue, but it's got a good setup. It's like a good gradient on the lawn they have, so like everyone has like a really good viewing spot.
Nice. Well, Jenny's going to be there, and I might be there. We'll find out later this week. So what's up in the air? Up in the air. And then they head the next night, May 26th, to Saranac Brewing Company in Utica, New York. And then that is a Sunday show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Saturday show, Friday show, Saturday. Boom.
It'll be nice for a Sunday to have Memorial Day for the next day. So that'll be quite a traffic day on the drive home, but at least I'm not rushing to work.
Big facts.
I have the day off as well, so I don't have to worry about getting home too quickly. But then they're off until the 31st, where they go to Rochester, New York at the Perrington Center Park Amphitheater. And then June 1st in old Columbus, Ohio, hometown throwdown for yours truly, Mr. Jacob Jazzy Coon, Jazzy Jakey. That's me. And then the second, June 2nd, they're in Newport, Kentucky, where Jenny has to take a 9-hour ride home. And then she's back on the 5th in Kansas City, Missouri. She's wild one. And then June 6th, St. Louis, Missouri. And then you're going to Yuba, Wisconsin. Is that right?
Got my hard copy tickets in the mail. That was a cheap for a festival, it was like, I want to say like $60 or something. It was pretty. I couldn't pass. I mean, I was going to be in the area several hours away, so you might
Just
as
in
well
the
go.
just stayed over a couple hours.
I almost wish that I could justify staying out west for me between Kentucky and the Missouri. I'm like, I gotta go back to work for one day.
Oh,
Gotta save that one Tuesday of work before I fly out.
dang, you wild. But Wisconsin's beautiful. Make sure you get some cheese. Uh,
Will do.
they have lots of food wherever you go. Any hotel I've ever stayed at in Wisconsin has plenty of food. It's one of the best stuff I've ever been to. Used to travel there for college football, so that's why I know. But then they're in Kalamazoo, Michigan at Bell's Brewery. And remember, guys, all these shows are outside. So be prepared for weather and inclement things. But Bell's Brewery, I only say that last time. They played there. The show ended early because of rain.
And that those days are flipped on the website. I don't know why they. I guess because it's a festival, it comes up the other way. But it is Mizzou before Yuba.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Well noted, Jenny. But then they take a break from the Frasco's Dogs in the Pile tour for a little bit, and then go to Northland's Music Festival in Swansea, New Hampshire, and then they hit the Chisholm Crow Festival in Vermont, and then this new announcement that we didn't even talk about, this Oceanfront concert series in Virginia Beach.
It's a free concert, right?
It's a free concert on the beach. It's a Wednesday. Uh, so if you're in the area and can make that, make sure you head out and support the boys.
Possibly taking a coworker down that day.
Ooh.
So she's heard me talk about them so much, and it's not her style of music at all. But she's off Wednesdays, and I'm not, but I will be. And I was like, it's only a 6 hour drive if you want to come. And she's like, well, it's free, so it's like we'll just both be late to work the next day. It's fine.
Now, I've had times where I've there wasn't a free show, but I had a friend I wanted to go, and I was like, look, I got free tickets to the show. You want one? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I bought both the tickets, but no one usually says no. If you want to manipulate your friends into going to a concert, that's what you got to do to lie to them. If they think it's a free ticket, they're happier to take it. If they buy it for them, they're like, I don't want you to buy it for me.
Yeah, that's true. And then they go back to the festival circuit where they're going to be hitting the Gamblers Run Music Festival in Crystal Bay, Nevada. And I like how they put Carl Denson right here. Maybe that's a little foreshadowing.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have Carl Denson sit in.
Ooh, wee.
That could be spicy.
Straight fire. And then we got Georgia Theater in Athens, Georgia one night before they pick back up with the Frasco and Dogs Boys for 2 nights in the caverns. Looks like old Jakey Poo and the whole entire family is going to be going down for that one. So watch out. But then we're going to take a break. But the boys are going to pick up the 25th in Birmingham, Alabama. And then 2 nights without Frasco and Dogs at the Charleston Poorhouse, August 27th and 28th. And then they head back up north to old New York City on the rooftop at Pier 17.
I'm flirting with the idea of this one. I'm like,
dude, do it. Because I'm going to be there. We're going to be there.
Oh,
All gonna have fun.
Well, I was like looking at like where is it east? Like, some of these shows that are in some of the like, Buffalo, it's hard to fly in and out of, but like New York, I'm like, all right, we can get in and out of there pretty easily. There's plenty of airports to choose from. So
you need me. I'm there.
I'll call. Don't worry. I'm not shy.
And then the next night they head up to Portland, Maine for a night at Thompson's Point. And then September 5th, they head to the backwoods of West Virginia at the New River Gorge that we were just talking about at the Outpost. And then September 6th, looks like I'll be there as well. To return to Devil's Backbone. Classic show. Go check that out if you get a chance. And then September 7th, They wrap their Dogs and Frasco tour at the Fillmore Charlotte on September 7th. And then they have the Bender Jamboree September 12th through the 15th, Ocean's Calling September 27th to the 29th. And then next year, good old Jam Cruise starting on Valentine's Day.
Party at Wook Manor South.
I'm so excited I'm excited for so many shows this summer, but to have something booked out so far that like even I mean I'm sure there'll be a million between September to February, but I'm already got something to be excited for these 500.
Absolutely. Well, it seems, Jennie, like you're going to have a pretty badass summer. I appreciate when you stream for us as well. So that's always much appreciated. I think a lot of people, we love it. We love a stream show. Even though we're not there, we get to at least vibe on it a bit,
I'll do my best to do the camera work a little better because I know that because of where I stand, the stream is just the Ben show. So I'm like, people come, they're like, please do me. I'm like, oh my God, sorry. Sorry, you're not just facing straight that way.
You're really playing favorites here, though. I mean, how do you think Jeremy feels? He's like, what? Jennie doesn't give me love? He doesn't put me on camera?
Jeremy's got enough people.
Gator's undoing one more button on his shirt trying to get your attention.
That's the only downside to being exactly where I stand is Gator's always blocked by the symbol. And I'm like, I know you're there, and I know you're doing amazing. Sorry. I love you. I just can't see you that much.
Yeah, I thought it was true that the video he posted the other day, like him just kind of practicing. Dude's sitting there and like he's in a hoodie sweating. A skipjack, right? A skipjack?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the full YouTube one. That was.
But like he's just sitting there hammering out, and I was like, dude, this like you get to see he's sweaty. He's just like going. I'm like, all right, man, I love it.
Crushing it.
So he goes like the Sanford show, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was gonna drop after that. Like when I was obviously on rail, so I could see him, and he stood up like I think after the set closer, but before the encore, and he was kind of like. And I was like, oh, he went too hard. Gator Solo went too crazy.
Well, he's training, getting ready.
That's right. All right, guys, I got to go. So thank you so much, Jennie. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you.
Everyone have fun when tour starts this weekend. Be safe. We love you. Okay.